You know, this is why it's a chopper. You see he's chopping?
Because he's chopping.
Yeah, he's chopping.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Shadetree and welcome to my channel. Today we are starting a very big part of my chopper build. We're starting the chopper build. Pretty much everything so far has just been taking it apart. So today it's putting it together. We're heading over to It'll Ride Chopper's garage. He's gonna be building the frame for me because I have no idea how to weld or do any of those fabricating things. I've honestly only learned how to turn a wrench like 3 years ago. So instead of investing a bunch of time, money, energy in a product that's gonna look really bad, I'm just gonna have Rich do it. This video is gonna be a little bit different. I don't talk too much because I'm really taking time to absorb everything that Rich is teaching me on and off camera. I really wanted to bring you guys along on this chopper journey with me, so here we go.
All right, well, it looks a little bit more like a bike now, doesn't it?
No.
Well, it does, because you can see where the neck's going to be. Imagine that all the other pieces are there.
Double head neck that somebody butchered at some point. Basically, they chopped it off here and here. You used to be able to find these things all the time. The good thing is they have a number on them, so if you had to get a title if the number's clear. But what I've done is taken all the original tubing out. So when they built this at the factory, they stuck that tube in there and welded it. So we've got that all cleaned up. This bottom section of a shovel head frame. You used to be able to find these things all the time, kind of in this condition. People would chop these poor old girls up and slice them off here and there and kind of use it as an engine stand and leave the engine transmission.
Really just use it for an engine stand?
Yeah.
Wow, man.
So you still able to find them all the time. They're starting to dry up a little bit, but that's that middle section that we're going to use. And then I got this Softtail swing arm that we will butcher.
One day someone's going to pick up that Softtail swing arm and be like, can you believe they just cut these things up for their freaking axle plates? Those psychos.
I mean, it's a shame because this does have the glue-on Karyakin chrome kit.
I know, dude. Rare that Karyakin stuff is getting.
It's sweet to save that, but we're just
Is this a joke that I'm not getting?
Yeah, guys who make Karyakin obviously love motorcycles. I don't want to talk bad about them. I've learned a long time from going to motorcycle shows, you end up running into those people. So I'm just like, they obviously love motorcycles, but they make a lot of very funny parts. In China.
Kind of glue-on stuff, especially back in the 2000s when Harley was going nuts and everybody was going in cashing in the equity.
I forget whose shop it was, but I went into somebody's shop and on the wall he had just an entire wall full of Karyakin hyperchargers that he had taken off motorcycles. He had like 30 of them on the wall. Exactly, the wall of shame. Karyakin hyperchargers, which I love you, Shay, but you don't even know what that is.
I don't.
It's a really good way to know that you're really going to have to check the tightness of every nut and bolt on a motorcycle if you buy it.
So on this, what we'll do is, if you kind of imagine that was a Softtail unmolested frame from
Shovel. Oh, so that's like that's a vintage shovel frame right there.
Yeah, that's a it's a pre-70 swing arm, and it's kind of keep this one. So I have original reference points every now and then.
Oh, that's your cheat code.
Kind of my frame that uses a lot of stock castings that sort of has some soul. This thing's been around for quite a while.
That means a lot, you know, to sit there and say that the parts of your bike, because right now your bike, literally nothing about it is old. It's got STD cases, the frames from 2001.
Yeah.
The transmission might be old. The heads are Edelbrock heads. They're aftermarket. They could be from back in the 80s for all I know, but they could also be 10 years old for all I know.
I'm going to do is start to clean this up and probably truck this up. So I'm going to make some spots for a little bit. And then the more of these pieces we put in the jig, I might start to see your chopper clean today.
Dude, thank you so much for letting us come over and watch you work, man. I know that's very out of the ordinary, so I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Dude, I like how you just do it straight the first time.
So precise.
It's like you've done it before.
I spend some time with these things.
I have one fear in this world, and it's that tool.
Well, that's because when we first started working on stuff, when I first gave her a grinder, I said, this is the most dangerous tool in the shop.
This is the original transmission cross plates here. Transmission plate would go here. I'm going to probably just leave this post here for now, but eventually I'm just going to take all this off. If I don't need it, I'll rebuild that with the tail.
So Shay, and I might have told you this before, but you know, this is why it's a chopper. You see he's chopping?
Because he's chopping.
Yeah, he's chopping.
Yeah, I know, it's just like,
It's so crazy because I'm so shitty with that tool. So it's really crazy to see someone use it really
Use it
well.
properly? Yeah, don't look at me to use it properly.
So happy right now.
This is kind of where they cut it. You see the angle that they got there. And it's the work for see there's some slugs that I made.
Are those just to mate it up to the other tubing that you're going to put on it?
Mostly it's for alignment. And what we'll do is once these are in here, this will fit in the other side of the bevel. I'm going to get the flat disc and flatten this out now. To go in, it'll hold that tube in perfect alignment. So we get a nice bevel on it, we get a nice deep root weld, and then we'll do a finish weld and file it off. Or finish it off with a file, and you can see where that was. It's just a nice strong joint. Now for the top ones, we could have left it long instead of going through this, but I just like to take the extra time to start from scratch. And people will cut them off and slug it, and I'm not here to say what's right or wrong.
They say the best storytellers, they show, they don't tell. So you don't have to say what's right or wrong. You just do it the right way. That speaks for itself, huh? Hey, again, you don't have to say anything. Every person I've ever met who's really good at building motorcycles doesn't brag at all. You know, let someone else do the bragging for you. That's what my grandpa always said. We'll do it. I said to Jared all the time, he's like, you don't have to brag, we'll do it for you, bud. Aha, 2 grinders. A man after my own heart. Hey, one for the flap wheel, one for the cutting wheel. Everyone says I'm decadent to have 2 grinders. They say it's too much, you shouldn't have that. See? So I know just enough to be impressed by someone else and get myself in a lot of trouble. And Shay knows just enough to not be impressed yet, but what you're learning now is how to really be impressed. Once you know a little, then you can really be impressed. And you can f your own shit up real bad.
My problem is I was born with the how hard could it be gene. In my brain, I'm like, I can do that. And then I go to try it and I'm like, oh, I did it up.
When I first started coming right down to starting to really cut some of this stuff up, you know, my bike building evolution was probably similar to a lot of people who are doing a bunch of bolt-on stuff. And you know, I had my Softtail with every piece of bolt-on, custom whatever that you can. That's why I was kind of goofing on the Teriyaki and may or may not have stuck that on bike at one point. But I remember the first time I actually took something, it was like, I'm doing it. I'm cutting this sucker in half and see what happens. Talking to a couple of other guys that are real good at that. And like, you get in too much trouble, you can send it to us and we'll fix it.
I love that.
See, a safety net. That's a safety net of community is so important, man.
For support in numbers. So I kind of pass that on to help people that'll reach out to me and say, hey, here's what I'm trying to do, or I'm going to go after it myself.
Well, because, hey, you forget that people weren't born with this. It seems like some people are, which I gotta imagine is like the biggest insult in the world when you're like, oh, you just were so good, you must have been born this way. It's like, nah, man, that's kind of insulting.
It's 10,000 hours.
I'm sure thousands of dollars of just like mistakes and practice, and that's how I feel about my resin stuff.
It's not even glue on.
Dude, it's not even a stick on teriyaki? Come on. Well, hey, there's knockoff teriyaki too, man. The knockoff hole is turtles all the way down. I like that you said that, man. Just admitting that, yep, at a Softtail with every bolt-on part you could put on it. Unless you were born into a family that fabricates, that's how everybody starts, man.
How would anyone know how to do something like that? You have to have so many skills. You have to be good at math.
How does everyone start? By changing out the reservoir covers on their bike. Yeah, I'm putting a cool one on there. Just like everyone else, dude. That's cool.
And there's a lot of stars in this industry that have been real graceful to me over the years. Real cool that shared knowledge, that shared advice, and just been really cool guys.
One day I'm gonna be old and I'm gonna be able to teach somebody about it because you taught me.
How smart. I never even thought about using axle plates off a Softtail. They were trying to make it look like a hardtail. They gave it the same lines as a hardtail. So yeah, that'll work fine. Bye-bye, Softtail.
Okay, bye-bye.
One day they'll go, can you believe they chopped up all these Softtail rear sections, swing arms?
Original Softtail swing. Story.
Matching number Softtail frame.
Liberated.
Curing the world one Softtail at a time. I just love that not one, but 2 Softtails had to be sacrificed in order to make your hardtail chopper.
Some of you might die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
So now that that's off, we'll take this down further. You can kind of see from the factory where that wire weld, the MIG weld around
Okay.
it, where there's a little stud on this side. If you look down in there, you can kind of see it, and they slide the tube over and weld it. We'll go after this when we get ready to build out the tail, probably, and just grind that weld down and pull that tube off so we start from scratch, kind of like I did with the neck. There's nothing really wrong with slugging it up further or whatever, but it's just one less joint.
That's just one man's opinion. That's just how he does it. The right way, but that's just how he does it because he shows, he doesn't tell. Now it's really looking like a motorcycle, right, Shay? You just fill in the gaps in your head in between it. Yeah, no, you have to open your eyes while you do it.
I'm imagining.
You're imagining? You have to imagine with your eyes open. Very poetic.
Where I am right now, I don't want a hardtail sports.
Nobody does.
You want the comment section to get set off? Nobody wants a hardtail Sportster, they just accept it. The same thing, if you go on Facebook Marketplace, the best way to find Sportsters for cheap is not to type in Sportster, it's to type in trade for FXR. You find the best Sportsters that way.
Even when I'm in the middle of working things, I just put the tool away because I know it's easier to find it there, see what shelf I set it on or where I put it.
Weird. That's one way to do it, I guess. I'm efficient, so I leave the tool on the lift, so it's closer to hand, you know. So it makes me move fast. Dude, that's what it's gonna take for this stuff to not go away.
Yeah.
Is people still doing that, or else it becomes like this lost art, you know. And you take a couple generations off from anybody doing it, and that's lost. That could be lost to time so easily.
People that were saving this stuff are slowly going away.
See, Shay, it's up to you. It's too late for me. I'm too old to learn. I'm too dumb. You have to do it.
I know. It's a lot of pressure. I have to teach the next generation how to work on motorcycles.
You gotta teach yourself first.
I know.
Now we got those studs, so basically that's where it'll be. You can kind of see on these axle plates that these,
Yeah.
that I'll clean them up. This tube comes up here and I'll basically build the tail.
See, now you can see it, right? Seeing it better now? Okay. You using your imagination?
You have a casting for the stock seat post. We'll probably use on that.
Ooh, see, it's that easy.
It's Tampa.
We've gone 2 up on the backbone height for this. So we stretched it up 2 inches higher than stock. We've got the rate set at fairly conservative 30-degree rate. That's pretty close to the stock. So it's nice when you're ripping it through the mountain. And we've stretched the backbone an inch. So we're setting this part of the frame back an inch where it would be in the stock rotation. Cleaned out the neck as we covered before. When we do that, we kind of change some angles, right? So this angle is set then once I put this in here. The only way to bring this down would be to change the rate. So what I'm doing in that big bender is just trying to put a slight downturn in this so that when we fill this out together and get it all in the stock plates, line up and this casting all fit together, people look at this and go, how frame is that?
And you'd be like, it's 67, 77.
This works for stock.
Yeah.
62, 63, 64, 65.
You have a 57, 67, 77. You don't even know.
Where we are now
So from where we first walked in.
has taken, it's been about an hour. This would have taken me a day already.
Oh, this? You think this would have taken us a day?
Maybe.
This would have taken us a month, Shay.
It's taken you an hour.
No, this would have been a month of work for us. Like, I'm not even trying to kiss your ass on that one. This would have been a month of work and like a couple $1,000s of buying machines and
Yup.
f***ing it up, and then like probably having something that looked terrible. Dang, it is just like an erector set.
Yeah.
See, now, after watching this, Shay, what you're going to be able to do is look at frames and parts of motorcycles and be able to know what's going on so much better. I'm really, thank you for having us here. It's not like I'm sitting here going like, yeah, good job, I know everything. Like, I could write a Encyclopedia Britannica about the shit I don't know. I don't know shit.
brain works that I can't really process the way that something is made or the way that something's put together, the way something functions until I see it like
Well, you also,
from bare fucking bones and built up, and then I'm like, oh, I understand now.
you have no frame of reference, which is fine because you're never.
Now I do have a frame of reference.
Well, it's also just being a kid. Like, I'm sure you didn't play with erector sets.
I don't know an erector set.
Yeah,
At
kid.
this point, I'm too scared to ask.
Take his fucking Legos away and give him an erector set.
What is
like,
an erector set?
It's just like fancy Legos that you bolt together. Erector set is what taught me how to turn a wrench. It's what makes your fingers nimble.
I turned my first wrench a few years ago.
Yeah, but you didn't know there was going to be lasers on this shit.
The way everything's straight, basically, you can kind of start to see this thing putting together.
Yeah, it works a lot better than a piece of string.
I'm not really a good judge of what's straight or not.
I'll use that laser or a piece of string. Yeah, we went through this the other day, and I keep telling the story, and you're sure you're gonna get sick of me saying it. It just fits to so many other things. When Shay's learning how to work on her own bike and how an engine works, and really just how to turn a wrench, it's like she never fucking did any of this shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it makes me realize how much of my own youth and having to work on my own cars, and I was a mechanic for a while, Ford mechanic, how you just wouldn't do that.
As a woman,
And also
in a
just
household where women don't do things like that. In my generation, like growing up, because I was raised in the 90s, girls played with dolls and boys looked like blue. Okay?
I still like blue.
I get to look at your fucking outfit.
I'm very blue right now. I know, I take it for granted all the time that, you know, when I got my first car, if I wanted to go somewhere, I better know how to make the car work because it's going to break down on the way.
You taught me how to drive. That's why I drive like that.
I'm not going to lie, you're making it look both insanely hard and very easy at the same time. I don't know how you're doing that, but you are. Because I'm looking at you doing like, oh shit, I could do that. He's making it look so easy. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
I'm just figuring it out as I go along.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah. You and my surgeon.
Oh, you got all these machines, you still caught on the floor.
Right.
You're right. You didn't feel like walking over there?
I feel like getting a clam.
Got him.
Got it.
See, Shay, you helped.
No, I just thought it was funny because that's some shit I do. It's not often that I get to give somebody else shit. So as soon as I
Very
see the
rarely.
opportunity, I'm like, ooh.
I know. A little too eager, some might say. It's very neat to see someone who knows so much more than you exhibit some of the same foibles that you have. I'm just like, okay, human after all. Dude, that's so cool watching that come together like that. That would have been another month, Shay. If you're wondering.
Yeah.
So now we're 2 months in.
Each hour is a month.
Each hour is a month. Oh, when you say 10,000 hours to master something, all of a sudden that doesn't seem too far-fetched.
Take about an inch, 2 inches off the end of this.
But now when you take it off the top, there's nothing to worry about. It's not making it too short, right?
Yep.
Because you got the angle right. That's so neat watching that happen. You know what the most expensive part of you learning how to do this, Shay, is going to be the metal. Because you fuck up and you got to throw the piece. It is expensive.
It used to be about $130, I think, when I first started it, and when everything went nuts, it's up to like $300 for a roller. As far as like 20 feet, come down a little bit, but it's just like everything else. They got it up so high, and now they're
Oh yeah, you ain't ever going all the way back down. People are going to pay this? Well, all right. You found the set down part. You found the nut on the ground, and also you were like, "Stop bending over. It hurts your back, sir."
I know all these senior citizens here. I'm the youth. Okay.
I don't know. I wouldn't call you a youth.
No, I'm
Young. You're younger.
So I've decided that since COVID took 2 years of my life, that I'm 25.
That works,
we got that lining up real nice.
dude. Look at that, man.
It's a motorcycle.
Come together.
So
Isn't it very cool to see it, Shay? How when you first came in here, you're like, I don't even know what I'm looking at, and now you can tell. Well, now whenever you look at a part, you'll kind of like know, and you'll be like, okay, I can recognize what part of the frame that is.
what I want up into like every single part of the motorcycle. Like I want to be so obsessive that I know like every single bolt and screw and piece and
Oh, that is a never-ending rabbit hole.
You will, because you will be tightening the ball.
It's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. You remember what my shovel head looked like when I bought it?
No.
It was not the worst one in the world. You've seen what it looks like now.
All you did was drive it one time across the country.
Oh, well, it was 4,400 miles.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode. I am here for you every Sunday and Wednesday-ish and every Tuesday and Thursday on Twitch. Sorry, my schedule's been a little bit lacking lately. My mental health has also been a little bit lacking lately. I always feel like I can be pretty upfront with you guys because it seems like you appreciate it instead of just pretending like everything's fine. So, cause it's not. So sometimes the videos come out a day late. I know this video is a little bit different, but I feel like it's a really important video to have because I've learned so much, not only in the last 3 years, but in the last 3 months. Also a reminder that we're gonna be live on the Shadetree Surgeon channel this Friday, giving away the Buell. It was only Buell Star Garage for such a short time, and I had such a good time with it. Tickets are only $25, and it's all going to such an amazing cause. Right now, you have a 1 in 400 chance of winning this Buell. As most of you know, Forgotten Angels is a charity that helps kids who age out of foster care at 18 and are made homeless. Forgotten Angels rehabilitates these kids and really gives them more than a home. It also gives them guidance. Your $25 could do a lot of good, so I'll leave the link in the description down below and make sure you check it out. Okay, bye-bye. Some of you might die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.